Well, good morning. It's Buddha's in your landfill or Zen Live. And boy, I'm really pumped up and fired to go this morning because I just got just so many dots came together. You know why we like puzzles? We want to see the complete picture. And so we work, some people, I don't like puzzles. Why bother? But some people will stay at it for days, weeks, years. These complicated puzzles, and they work at it, because you know that the puzzle is complete. That if you have the intention, you'll find the missing pieces and you'll see the picture. The more complicated the puzzle, the more some people like it. It's graded, so you keep going from simple to complex. But anyway, so connecting dots and awakening, realization is like that. So this morning, I write on, answer questions on Quora, and I've got a little ongoing story about my life in the submarines because, and I added a little chapter to that this morning, and that connected some dots with what we've been talking about here. So, and I have talked about submarines before, but earlier in these talks, and I know a lot of you are dropping in probably haven't gone back that far. But anyway, I was in the Navy from 1956 to 61, and I was on a submarine, the USS Kubera. It's the name of a fish that was stationed in Norfolk in an anti-submarine fleet. So I was on that for 3.5 years, and it was a diesel boat. And this was during the time when the nuclear fleet was being created, and this was one of the last of the diesel boats. And the Kubera had been built in 1945, so whenever you see a submarine movie with diesel boats, they're all pretty much the same system. Ironically, it's a lot like my Honda hybrid that works with gas and engine, battery and engine like that. So a submarine works with diesel engines and a battery, and it goes back and forth. Battery underneath the sea, diesels on the surface. Or snorkel, you can run diesels while you're submerged, And so I've been using this for me, all these years ago, and I look back at my submarine metaphorically now. And it has been such a rich metaphorical ocean for me because it keeps revealing its truth to me, not only about myself, but about the world, about the ocean, and about the difference and today, the difference between the father and the mother. Now, how could you connect dots like that? By the way, this is the dolphins. I guess you can see them, but the dolphins are the submariner's wings, and they have two dolphins with a little submarine in the middle. But this is the dolphins, of course, in Greek mythology, were the friend of the sailor. If you fell over the side, dolphins would bring you back to shore. So there was always a relationship between the dolphins and man. And here you have two dolphins. So this is a union of opposites. Whenever you see these two, like two eagles, two snakes, two dolphins, two wings, two birds, it always signifies the mother. The union of opposites. Okay, so let's look at our map today and see if we can connect this up, because yesterday we were talking about Hacksaw Ridge and the vow that became the creative center of this medic that brought him through the no man's land of the war as a savior. Because of his almost superhuman powers. But I don't want to get back into that again. But anyway, pick that up from yesterday if you want to see what we looked at yesterday in concerning this movie, Hacksaw Ridge. But today, we're going to look at the difference between a submarine crew and a surface crew, which we call surface skimmers. The submarine is like a frog. It's an amphibian. All right? In other words, it's a ship. It can be on the surface like another ship, or suddenly it can disappear and be at home in the ocean like a fish. So it's at home in two worlds. The surface ship is only home in the surface, and it's afraid of the ocean because if it goes down there, it's dead, it's sunk. The submarine is not afraid of the ocean. It's not afraid of death, and that's of the unconscious. See, if the ocean is the unconscious, above the surface is the conscious. The submarine, metaphorically, now again we're talking metaphors, goes in like a frog. It can go down into the unconscious and come back up and be on land, you see. And remember, the mythology of the frog is that it is a threshold being, and the little fairy princess. I hope you can hang in here with me. The little fairy story, you know, and the little girl drops her golden ball in the pond, and the frog says, "I'll go get it for you if you marry me." And so she says yes, and so he goes down and brings it up. Well, that's a metaphor for the treasure and the wisdom of the unconscious, buried in the ocean. Davy Jones' locker, the treasure is beneath the surface of the consciousness. The missing pieces for our puzzle of the surface world is found in the unconscious, all over the boundary of the threshold. The pieces to the missing puzzle are going to be found down here and not up in what you already know. See, the pieces for your puzzle are missing. So where do you find them? Well, you can't find them in what you already know. So you have to go to the unknown. You have to be willing to adventure into what you don't know. And that's a threshold. But anyway, I'll get to digress here. So what I want to talk about today was the difference between a submarine crew and a surface ship. Now, the submarine, see these little dolphins? You had to earn these things because when you get on the submarine, you had to learn every system on the sub. The torpedo compartment, the electricians, the engine room, the conning tower, the sonar, the radar, the battery compartment, the electrician, everybody. You had to go through and learn every system in there because wherever you were on a submarine, if something happened, you had to know what to do in that compartment as if that was your specialty. See, so everybody on the submarine knew everybody else's job. So everybody was the whole. Now, this is the relationship of a tribe. So in a tribe, there is an initiation. Oh, by the way, okay, so you when you completed a test and you went through with the testing officer and you went through and he would ask you questions. What's that valve? What would you do here? Explain that. Draw a diagram here. And you would pass the test and you would get your dolphins and they would be pinned on you in a ceremony. And before harbors got polluted, you would be thrown overboard. It would be a baptism. So you were being baptized into a new consciousness. You were being baptized into a wholeness rather than being as a separate individual. See, now the tribe is held together because it's all for one and one for all. All for one, one for all. Which means that every person in a tribe is the whole tribe. It's like DNA in a cell. If you take every cell has the DNA of the whole organism. So you clone the whole organism from one piece. You see? It's united. It's a whole in the one, and one is in the whole. This is the tribal relationship because when you are initiated into a tribe, you are the tribe, and the tribe is you. So the center, your center of identity, is both as I and as a part. Your center of identity is I'm the whole, and I'm also part of the whole. I'm part of the whole and I'm whole, you see. So just when Jesus said, I and the Father are one, this is what he was talking about. I and the whole are one. The one, the whole, and I, the all, I am the all, and the all is me. I am the world, and the world is me. You see, this is a paradoxical state of consciousness in which you are not fragmented and lost from the whole, but as you are the whole and you are the part at the same time. This is not logical. So there is a bonding, there is an initiation, there is a baptism in which you to enter into this sacred relationship of the all is one and the one is all, because this sacred relationship unifies the pain of separation and exile. Remember, in the Garden of Eden, all is one, one is all. Then there's the exile. Now we're wandering around in exile looking for our lost puzzle. Everything is, the puzzle's all broken into pieces. We can't find the whole again. So then let's look at a surface ship. Now the relationship of the crew on a surface ship is more like a pyramid instead of a circle. And okay, so we got like that. And up here at the top is God. And all of the people, the crew, the God in the Navy would be the captain. Okay? So, by the way, you know, my father was, I talked about this, my father was a captain, and I began to realize that the naval officer, if you look at the clothes, you got the hat with the gold on it, you got the gold, this is in dress, you got gold on the epaulets, you got gold on the buttons, you got gold on the hilt of the sword, you see. It's like you were standing under the sun, and it was dripping gold on you, and wherever the gold of God fell, it fell on you. So this is the Son of God. This is the mythical Son of God, the one, the Christ, the one. There's just one Son, and this is it, you see. So this would be God, the Son of God would be God's emissary on earth. And I remember my father telling me, that he went to Annapolis and he identified with this, but he said when the commanding naval officer in a foreign port is the direct representative of the president. So when a naval ship is in a foreign port, the commanding officer is the Son of God, or the Son of the President, is the President. It's interesting. So this idea of the surface ship is pyramidal. So everything is in compartments. So when you're on a surface ship in that organization, you know your compartment, but you don't know the other compartments because you got a rank, you see. So I'm going to be a engineman. Well, I'll know the engines, but I'll know nothing about the any other compartment on the ship. So I'm organized, you see, in a hierarchy, and the center that holds the whole thing together is the sun god, is the captain. So I'm in relationship with the captain. I don't say I'm the captain and the captain is me, or I'm the whole, and the captain represents the whole, and all of the sons or parts are in relationship to this captain. So the center is external to the crew members. And this is like a corporation or any kind of pyramid structure where you have the center is personified or held by an individual. And he would be the top guy, the top gun, the top captain, you see. And this would be trickled down. So God's grace is going to trickle down through the pyramid like water coming down a mountain to everybody to get a drink of the grace, as long as they were in proper relationship to the captain, to the center. if you break ranks and you are not loyal and not obedient to the captain, well, then you're going to get excommunicated or shot or fired, because the whole thing holds together because you're loyal to this external center. In religion, this would be a false idol. So see the difference here. So in the tribal relationship of the submarine, all is for one is for all. No one, there is no, I know we did have a captain and you did have ranks, but in the relationship of everybody, we were all one. There was no saluting. There was no separation. The officers did have their own compartment, but in the functioning of the submarine, it was all for one for all. And this was because you're alone and you have to depend on each one of your members of the crew for survival. Any screw up and the whole thing sinks. I mean, on the surface ship, if you screw up your compartment, the whole ship is okay. But in the submarine, you're all going down. So there's a death kind of like changes the relationship here. So I got to thinking this morning, so in this surface ship here, we have the captain or the father who is like the Son of God. He's the one next to God, the power, and it flows down through him, through the officers, through all the ranks, all the way down to the seaman down here on the bottom, the peasant. So this is an aristocratic relationship here of the king with his nobility and down through the middlemen, the business, the ranks. This is a feudal system down to the peasants down here on the bottom who are out there mopping the deck, you see. And they have to work their way up, you see. But this is a pyramid relationship of relationship. You're in relationship to the center. And over here, you are the center. See the difference? You're not in relationship to the center. You are the center. But you're not the center at the same time. So it's a metaphor. I am the center. I am not the center. Over here is just I am not the center, period. You see the difference? Here, this is a paradox. I am the center. I'm not the center. Over here, I'm not the center. The captain's the center, and I got to do, you see. And I was thinking, now this splits, this whole idea comes to, then back and forth here. This, to me, well, I said, well, damn, that's the difference between a mother principle and a father principle. In the matriarch, you have a tribal, in the matriarch, now let's take a family. Maybe you got 20 kids in that family. Okay. So that would, and there's no father. So it's a matriarch. And the mother loves all the kids equally. They're all in it together. They're all one family. But then in a patriarchal thing, the father comes home and he sits at the head of the table and everybody says, what should I do, Dad? I need your approval, so I want to be good. I want to get your approval. So everyone's in relationship with the father, and he hands out approval or disapproval. So he hands out according to how you fit into the pyramid, your rank, your duty. He will award you or punish you. Okay, so that's a relationship with the father is the center. And all the kids are in relationship to the father. But in the matriarchal system, it's all for one for all. It's just one big family, you see, and everyone is as important as the other. See? So there's no father's judgment here, which cuts the kids into the good kids and the bad kids. All the kids are equal. So you see this difference? And now this is a very loose thing, but this is kind of looking at these mythic principles of patriarch and matriarch, And we can all relate to that because we all can see this in families, with the stern father or or living with the mother and the embrace of all the children, you see. So getting back to our separation here, is that we're looking at what I'm looking at, what my interest is, and where I keep going, you see, is to understand consciousness, my consciousness. So I really saw this today. This really breaks down into the difference between mysticism and Orthodox Church. Now, the mystic is seeking identity as God. The church is giving you relationship with God. See the difference? Mystics are like submarines. They go by themselves. They don't go in big flocks or schools or big churches. They're loners. They go meditate, run silent, run deep. The mystic is going to go diving into the unconscious by himself in order to discover his center as God. But don't get mixed up with the idea I'm God and you're, and all that. What I'm saying is that you're looking for the center that gives you identity with your life, so that you don't feel outside of your life. The feeling of exile is feeling outside of experience, outside of other people, outside of my life, you see. So that's the separation in identity. So the movement towards identity with God or with life or with myself is a search to get for healing, to be united with the whole, and yet at the same time to be separate, just like on the submarine. I am the whole submarine, I am the whole crew, and yet I'm separate. I am all, I am not all. You see, that is a metaphorical or paradoxical consciousness that is not logical, because you are this and you are not this. But this is a logical arrangement here. This is logical. And you could say a moral relationship. A logical relationship because everybody has its place. And that's all it is, you see. You can't become anything other than what your place is in society. So we're constantly having to battle between these two. Well, just take like women. So in this system here, the woman is below the father in a relationship, you see. So she has a place, and the kids are down here, you see. So it is a pyramidal relationship, Over here, there is no pyramid. Everyone has an equal value. Here, value is given according to your rank up the pyramid. Value is top value at the top, bottom value down here, you see. Over here, everyone has the same value. So this identity is these two relationships here. Identity in philosophy and religion is called Gnosticism. Remember, the Catholic Church kicked out the Gnostics because the Gnostics were looking for knowledge of God, or identity with God. Knowledge of God means identity with God as God. I am God, God is, the whole, there is an identity, like the moth goes into the flame and becomes the flame. He doesn't stay outside and has a relationship with the light. He becomes the light. This is the mystical experience of unity. So the church has traditionally, the Catholic Church, and on down into the Protestant church and all that, has offered relationship with God. It's heresy to say you're God. But Jesus said it, I and the Father are one, but then he was God. So only God can say that. You see, so the heresy of the Orthodox, of this religion here, is to be identity with God. That would be like the seaman identifying with the captain. That's heresy. The seaman's a seaman, the captain's a captain, and you will never bridge the gap, you see. So this relationship here keeps everything on the surface in a logical structure, and power comes down from the top. This is an ancient pyramid. This goes all the way back to Mesopotamia and the first city-states of humanity in the Tigris and Euphrates river delta, where these first city-states were structured, and they were structured as a pyramid with the priest or the king at the top. Okay? In Europe, in the pagan tribes of Europe before Christianity, they were tribes. And then I got to thinking, well, damn, this is Avatar. Avatar, the sky people are hierarchy people, they're father people. They're arranged in a hierarchy of captain down to soldiers and grunts and all that, and everybody's in their place. And the Navi were tribal people. Everybody had the equal power. Everybody was the tribe. So you could see the different relationships there, even in the Avatar. So I just thought this was very fascinating today, and it just kind of like snapped and connected some dots in my own passage, in my own search to connect the dots of consciousness. Remember that the world, that each of us is the world. Each of us lives in our own world. Each of us, and you create the world that you're living in. Whatever you experience is coming in through your senses. Now, I'm experiencing this. I don't know. All I know of this is that it has some weight. It's got black and white. It's got a function. You write on it here. But I'm experiencing that. Now, if you give this to somebody in the Amazon and say, "What is it?" They'd bite it. What is it? They would dig with it. They'd have no idea what it is. So I create this because I have named it. It's Adam named everything. I've named everything, and I learned what everything is, and everything has its place, you see. But that is what I'm bringing to it. I'm bringing what this is to it. Melt it down, and it's just a piece of plastic, you see. So it's like this plastic is created into a name and a form, and I think it exists out there by itself. No, it exists because I see it. This exists because I perceive it as what I determine it is. So the whole world is like that. The whole world exists because I perceive it. But the illusion is that everything exists out there by its own. So if I went away, it would all still be here. No, it would not be here. You take it with you. So we create a world when we're born, and then when we die, we take it with us. You see? So everything that we experience is me. But we experience it as it, and I'm here. But who am I? So this whole thing here is the search to become whole, one with what I experience, so that I'm not outside of myself. I'm not on the periphery looking at the world separate from me. Now that's necessary because we need to make stuff and catch a bus. But if that's the only view, it's the cause, Buddha says, that's the cause of our suffering. It's the only, because that's the only view, and we believe that's the only reality. That world believed in creates the feeling of being separate from the world, and that feeling of separation is the fundamental cause of our dissatisfaction with life and ourselves, and our searching for wholeness through diets and meditation and Facebook and all the stuff that we do in order to heal this wound of feeling separate. Okay, so with that, we're part of our qualifying, and hang in here, and we're gonna earn our dolphins and get baptized into a greater understanding of who am I and what's it all about. So I'll see you this evening at Martini time.